So first thing that I want to talk about is ChatGPT is large language model, or in short, LLM. So what is a large language model, and what's the concept behind the large language model? Let's talk about that concept for a bit. So in order for us to understand the concept of large language models, I want to quickly go through, sort of a hierarchical classification of where the large language model falls in the context of AI and machine learning domain. Okay, so if you talk about, AI, artificial intelligence, in order to define artificial intelligence, I think the first thing that we need to do is, at a very abstract level, we need to define what is intelligence or what is human intelligence, right? So one very coarse way to define human intelligence is, the ability to, make informed decision in uncertain environment and learn from the past and make decisions based upon that is one of the criteria on which you can define human intelligence. Now, if that is, a broad level way of saying what intelligence is, then, artificial intelligence is essentially, way of mimicking that human intelligence computationally and creating algorithms or programs or frameworks that can help us imitate, the human intelligence in an, artificial way, in a software format or in a computational framework that we have. So artificial intelligence can be basically defined as a class of techniques that allows machines to mimic human intelligence or human behaviors in general. Now, from that, machine learning is a subclass of artificial intelligence techniques that essentially focus on using statistical computational models to learn from the past data, and then you can apply them on the current data that you have. So learning from the past data in a statistical framework and basing decisions based on that is the primary premise of machine learning, and it's one of the subset of techniques of artificial intelligence, right? Artificial intelligence is a broader technique which encompasses machine learning, and it also have other areas as a logic, programming, search, and so forth that falls under the purview of artificial intelligence, but that does not fall under the umbrella of machine learning, right? Now, if you take the machine learning algorithms, right, there are wide variety of machine learning algorithms that are out there. We have classical machine learning algorithms like support vector machines, random forest, and plethora of those techniques. And one of the subset of techniques that has been developed in the machine learning domain that can learn from the past data and that could be used as a model to do classification or regression is called neural network. Now, neural network models are basically models which are based on the simplified abstraction of mathematical framework mimicking the human brain, and specifically the connection of neurons in the human brain, right? And it's not completely the actual mimicking process. It's a very high level abstraction of what is happening inside the human brain in terms of neurons connected to each other and processing that information, and that has been computationally mimicked and implemented in a framework which is popularly known as neural network. Now, neural network is one subclass of techniques among the machine learning techniques, and as I mentioned, there are various other classes of machine learning techniques that are out there that could fall into this. But neural networks are one of those which have been very, very popular recently and are the main enablers behind the large language models, and that's why I wanted to discuss neural networks and so forth. Now, neural networks itself could be used for many different tasks. For example, it could be used for classification task, image classification. It could be used for regression tasks in engineering domain. It could be used for computer vision application or image processing application. And one of the other application that neural network could be used is natural language processing. And this is a specific task of machine learning which is enabled by neural network, where the machine learning models are focused on understanding and analyzing human models for communication purposes. So the focus of this set of techniques is essentially understanding and analyzing, the human language. Okay? And this is an important category of task that is done by the neural networks. Now, natural language processing also could be enabled by various class of techniques and various subclass of techniques even in the neural network domain. But what we do is we focus on this specific large language models, which are natural language models trained on vast amount of test data to understand and generate human-like language for various applications. So you can think about large language model as a specific area in the domain of natural language processing that is enabled by neural networks. And we will go into a little bit more deeper detail about how that training is done and how that is used. And why I want to do this is, I want essentially, the statement is that the ChatGPT is a specific instantiation of the large language models. So if you take all the things that we have discussed so far, we can think about large language models, or in short LLMs, as being a specific techniques in the domain of AI, right? And if you take the hierarchy that I have presented on this diagram, machine learning is a specific set of techniques falling under the umbrella of AI, and under the specific set of techniques under machine learning, we have neural networks. Under neural networks can do multiple tasks. NLP, or natural language processing, is one of the tasks that neural network can do. And then among natural language processing, large language models are specific class of algorithms or techniques or computational framework that works on vast amount of data. And ChatGPT is a specific instantiation or a class of a large language model. Now, if you take what has happened in the last decade or so forth, specifically around 2012, there was very good development computationally in the domain of neural networks, which were mainly categorized, or at least termed as deep learning or deep neural networks and so forth, that basically brought the onset of what we are seeing as the initial starting points of this large language model, major developments which helped propel this field. And then finally, in the last 5 years, we are also seeing very, very specific techniques like transformer models and so forth and so on, which has been customized for large language model. So two key developments, 2012 around, somewhere around that, deep learning, and then 2018, in the last 5 years, there has been a specific impetus on transformer models, which are mainly focused on, they're focused on a lot of different things. But one of the things that they can really do well is also the large language models, and that has essentially brought this technology now so that we can use it in a wide variety of tasks that we are going to be talking about. So ChatGPT and other bots are now based upon large language models, or LLMs, and they are now poised to change our everyday life in a very, very dramatic way.